as well, the Terizla ban, that hurts them. I like the fact that they banned Terizla in the response to get show, because now the only mid laners, um, now the only players that can actually take sort of the fight against Show would be Leomord,
Yep.
would be maybe Tams, and they're kind of not the best to go against that Show.
Well, I think it's also a very good pick here for EVOS, since they have the again the mobility and also the catch, or the nice initiation with the Way of the Dragon from Cho. They also will pick the Divine Judgment from Kaja. I think that will even it out in some way. And let's see EVOS-PH again picking up the Gushin. I think, well, don't fix what is not broken.
Yeah,
right?
definitely, and especially with Haji on that Doof in last game, I'd consider banning it though. But it's very risky to ban Gushin because there's so many other heroes that you can ban. But at the same time, if you let Haji have that Gushin, it's kind of like, what are you doing?
But we have a Minotaur and a Cho in this game now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's
That's going to be a Chaknu Minotaur.
Well, we mentioned earlier that Chaknu really loves to to be in the front lines as a tank. Well, again, I think he's a double tank per se. He's really confident for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Again, the way that he initiated, he's really waiting for that nice opportunity to get that Minoan's Fury. So I guess it will be a much more better draft here on the side of Execration. You just need to find at least another marksman, which is very comfortable for the side of Zapnu.
Yeah, but you talk about the Divine Judgment of Kaja there. The combination of that, the Kimi, that's a lot of early game steamrolling that you're going to potentially be having on EVO's side. I honestly think I like EVO's draft more so far because we know that there's a very, very definitive game plan that they're going for already. And the fact is that it's going to be so much easier to execute, especially with that Gushin, who snowballs off of early game success.
Now, I'm just looking forward to see how Execration is going to draft this for the 4th pick. Because I agree with you, they need more damage output going into this game. That's what they lacked during game number 1. Game number 2, they need a marksman here, and
they're still lacking it.
A Claude might work well for them. A Granger might work, but instead they're gonna go for a Diggy. Potentially gonna go for the time journey just in time. Just to save Esmeralda, I guess.
And it's also, I think they picked that out just because they didn't want to give EVOS that Diggy because, of course, the Minotaur. They want full of it for the Minotaur. So it's a little bit of a denial pick at the same time, too.
But let's see what will be the last 2 picks of EVOS-PH here. What do they lack? They lack a tank and a possible, they're a fighter on the side of EVOS-PH. Leomord is being hovered down. I think it is actually okay.
That's fine. That's perfect. That's an amazing draft. It's very balanced, it's very stable, and it has a very clear objective here. Leave Leomord alone for the late game. Akai's going to make some plays alongside the Kaja, and then the early game should be snowballed by the Kimi and the Gushin. I think it's flawless. It's a beautiful draft here from EVOS. Now let's talk about Execration. What are your thoughts?
They have Granger.
They have Granger, so they finally have damage.
They finally have damage, and Granger is hard to go up against in the early game, especially with Diggy with him, if ever that's going to be the case, because Diggy's just going to go for the time bomb, and then they're just going to be able to dwindle down the HP of whoever is going to be in front of their lane. So,
okay, let's go.
Things are looking good for Execration.
I'm going to cut you off real quick because we're going to go predict right now. Let's go.
Execration.
EVOS.
And I shall do, honestly, for me, EVOS' draft was just perfect. I'm gonna go for EVOS this time. So now you're the odd man out.
I'm the odd man out, yeah.
Okay, we'll see how it goes as we go into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Tell us in chat who you think drafted better. If you think it's gonna be an EVOS game or is it gonna be an Execration game. So for one more time before we go into the game, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Illustrato. This is Tads. This is Nomad. If you want to find out more about us, make sure to check out our social media pages. We'll be showing that a little bit later on, but I think we're ready to dive into the land of Dawn and go into game number 2.
Let's go ahead and introduce our players here. On the side of EVOS-PH, we got Honda on that Akai, Dexter on that Kaja, Doofin on that Gushin, Haji on that Kimi, and Killer on that Leomord.
And on the side of Execration, playing the red side, we have Bakpet on the Esmeralda, May playing the Cho, Chakno on its Minotaur, Siren playing on that Diggy, and Zapnu on that Granger.
Now we finally have a chance to actually introduce the team. The last one had absolutely no opportunity to do that, but as you can see, this time a little bit slower than the first game, but as we say that,
I like how EVOS is doing this. They're aggressively stealing the jungle. Look at where Akai and Kimi is right now, but that's going to be a first blood onto Diggy as well.
Magic Worship for the Diggy. The burn damage, it really hurts him a lot.
that's gonna suck.
That is gonna
If
suck.
you are a killer, now you're level 1. You have to rotate all the way back to the bottom lane, and that's gonna be a big problem right there for Execration.
A
Sorry,
very
for EVOS.
Yeah, that was a very big problem. But at the same time, EVOS-PH was able to steal out resources from Execration over at the top side jungle. That is a very huge advantage. It's not showing in our gold graphs just yet, but you should be able to feel the advantage from there.
Yep. And right now, EVOS trying to clear the jungle camps, trying to transition into the bottom lane, but looking at the minimap right here, ladies and gentlemen, there's no members of Execration right now. They're just waiting for a nice, or for the next turtle respawn, and 2 mages into the middle lane, making sure that they're able to soak a little bit of experience, trying to get that level 4 to at least get that proper momentum on the side of Execration here.
Yeah. Mirroring each other is the name of the game at the moment, and it seems like they're doing it pretty balanced. Execration with a little bit of a lead, but it's nothing too substantial at the moment here. Zapling should just be left alone to his own devices just so he can get that farm. And Turtle not even going to be contested yet.
That's a big rotation going into the top lane. Chaknu doesn't have the Minoan Fury ready just yet, so I think it's just going to try to go for, well, that's a pull onto Doofin.
He almost got killed by that time bomb.
That was
Oh,
supposed to be him dead.
Yeah.
I just want to point this out. It's Doofin on Gushin and Haji on the Kimi.
Yep.
This is a problem for me. One thing, because first of all, Haji was amazing as Doofin as Gushin last game, and second of all, Doofin has been falling off in terms of performance lately.
Dude, Doofin is the Gushin god.
I know he's the Gushin god, but Haji is now the new Gushin god. The god has been overthrown. It's Mount Olympus now. They've taken over the Titans. It's now actually the new Olympian gods.
Well, I really see your point right there, but I think it's all about the adjustments. Gushin, or rather Doofin, is much more comfortable playing the Gushin because they have secured this Kimi pick, and I think Haji much prefers to play that role, or that marksman role, that hero can dish out a lot of structural damage. But I think the composition of EVOS right here is quite well balanced.
Yeah, I'm slowly starting to agree with you guys here. Because right now, I'm slowly starting to agree with you.
No. There's no turning back, man.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah,
turning
yeah,
back.
I'm just agreeing with your points. I'm just saying that Execration might still go for
I
game of
see,
three.
I see.
But yeah, right now, what EVOS has is the power to push. That's something that Execration still needs to build up on, because right now, as we speak, as soon as Chakra reaches level 4, they're teamfight oriented. At any given point in the game, Kimi can just go anywhere and just start pushing without any problems.
You know, Kimi is somebody that needs to start early. So far, we haven't seen many crazy invades, which is interesting because, you know, as Kimi, you have such an advantage that early that you do want to go for it. I believe they did not feel like or sense that they had that advantage early on. I don't know why they didn't go for those early invades, though.
They actually did.
Oh, they did?
They did.
Top side,
Right.
less than a minute in the game, but then they backed off when
Yeah.
they weren't able to get the green camp near the lane.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like with Kimi, you need to be successful at it. You need to be successful at the invade. Like, you need to persist in order to get that Kimi to the point where she has the items to dominate people. Otherwise, there are so many people so many heroes that can easily jump on Kimi and take her out. She's not as broken as she used to be, like in Season 2.
Well, I think it's just because since Kimi went for a mage killer emblem, I think that's one of the reasons, or the main thoughts on the side of Haji right there, is to just make sure that you have the space. You have the space to dish out damage into the structures, even though it's 1 versus 4, or at least 4 versus 5 rather. As long as this Kimi will do his responsibility, take down all the turrets as early as possible, remove all the tier 1s, and it will be easier for EVOS-PH to dominate the game, or at least snowball, or get that map control.
Exactly. Objectives is the name of the game. That's definitely what they want to do, but they're unable to achieve that unless the Kimi is able to get those items onto her, to be able to take him out, to be able to get those, those early pushes in, those early buffs, to help her do that and get them that map control. Again, Kimi is a snowball-y type hero, but if you're not able to do that, late game, you're going to be absolutely nothing, especially in the fact that we have a Granger on the other side.
Yeah, but Granger is, Granger's a huge problem here for EVOS-PH if they cannot control him. So far, as we're seeing here, they're not doing any attempts to just stop him in his tracks and just delay him from getting his items, make it a hard time for him to stay in the lane. That's not the case because Execration recognizes that, and they're taking the reins here, so to speak. They're making sure that EVOS-PH is being controlled by their rotations.
Yeah, and I think the rotations are actually, being very much mitigated by the other side. It seems like EVOS-PH, they're unable to do what they want to do. Like last game, actually last game they sort of weaned off a little bit, played a little bit more aggressive later on. And on the other side, EXECRATION, who normally want to start aggressive, are not able to do that in terms of this game as well. It must be absolutely frustrating for them. Now, let's talk about actually Pacbet and Zapnu in the last game. 2 stars, literally the 2 stars. And of course, Chakno was like the main supporting role. They have seemingly been shut down. What do you think Pacbet and Zapnu have to bring up to the table this time?
I think it's just all about the drafting from game 1. But right now for game 2, they have the Granger. Granger is not that well, he really shines more once he got that Bloodlust Axe, at least Bloodlust Axe plus another core hero. So he needs to get this farm first. And I think that's one of the reasons why they picked up that Diggy.
Yeah.
Well, Diggy will just use Time Bomb, push or at least zone out the enemy hero. It will be easier for the Granger to farm.
Great point.
Exactly, and that's what EVOS-PH needs to do. They need to make sure that they control Granger, and just like what we've been talking about earlier on, they're not able to do that. So I feel like later on, as soon as we reach the 7-minute mark, 8-minute mark, we'll feel a lot more Granger game, a lot more Granger playstyles coming out.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna agree because Granger seems to be like a little bit more of a fail-safe hero because Granger starts off very strong. It allows them to get a little bit more farm. It's a little bit better for them. And coming into the late game, they're also going to be able to be in a position that seems a lot better. I mean, Granger's sort of like a strong early game, mid game's kind of okay, and then late games are great, obviously great for Granger. So this is a little bit more fail-safe for Zapnu. Definitely a better approach, don't you think?
I think it really depends on the mid game of this Granger. If the early game is not that good, there's still a chance for him to get that farm into the mid game. But at least, but the problem is, if he's unable to get that early game advantage, the mid game time instead of this Granger getting that really aggressive, he will spend his time getting that farm for him to reach or for him to get that power spike, additional power spike into the late game.
Yeah, but on the flip side though, they got Kimmy to look after, which is sort of like Granger as well. But Kimmy is a whole different problem altogether with just that. Her auto attack is just gonna, you're gonna get pellets in front of your face time and time again. Even if you try to chase Kimmy, you're not gonna have a good time chasing Kimmy.
Chasing Kimmy is probably one of the worst things you can ever do in ML, period.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you need to burst him out as soon
Next
as
to
possible.
losing to Mia.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. And maybe Layla.
Yeah, I think so.
Actually, no, the thing is, I realized something about Layla. She's OP in Brawl.
Dude,
She
Layla's
is,
Malefic Gun is way too OP.
Yeah.
On top of the weapon mastery, again, getting that 100% to 130 depends on the distance. Layla is really strong per se, man.
I like how we're talking about Layla.
No, I'm like.
But Layla
hey,
is not even in the game,
We're
right?
ruining the pub games for everybody.
I'm just saying, guys. Layla in the right hands
And the right
can
hand.
be really, really strong because of the sheer amount of damage that she has. I don't think any marksman can stand up to Layla in terms of sheer damage output.
That's Sonata from Granger.
That's not a
The
foot ranger.
Caprice, rather. The Caprice. The red bullet right there.
Yeah.
Really strong. It will pierce through your armor. It will be a secured crit. So
Layla, Layla just feels good because, as long as she's getting closer and closer to her enemy, her damage output's going to be increased,
Yeah.
That's just basically it.
So it's like, yeah, but the thing is the damage is so strong. I mean, okay, Mia is great too, but obviously a lot less viable than Layla.
Hey, if you get a Mia, make sure you get a Scarlet Phantom first, and then go for Blade of Sedir.
I've seen people build 2 Scarlet Phantoms onto Mia.
I'm one of them.
I just need one. Whenever I'm
I don't
playing
know,
Mia.
man.
Sorry, whatever ranks you guys are, I don't play Mia, so I don't touch that.
Dude, we're all mythics
This,
here.
we are all
Wait. No. You and I are mythic.
No, he just went
Oh,
mythic.
he just went
went
mythic.
Yeah, he
mythic.
just went
Oh,
mythic,
okay, congratulations. Finally.
that's a problem. You don't trust me.
All right.
No, it's not
I
that.
see
No,
how
it's
it is.
not that.
Oh, but speaking of trust, it's going to take a lot of trust as we go into the game number 2 to cast with these two guys after what we just talked about. But here we go. Let's go straight into it. Falling Star Moon going to be committed. Oh, Divine Judgment too. Pacbet might just pay the price, and he's going to get finished off by Doofen now. It's going to be a dive. Here comes Haji. He's got the backup. Honest right there as well. And the Minoan and Fury's good on to 3. Not enough to keep him alive, though, because that's 2 for nothing is safe. And yet there's another one. Double kill right there from Haji and Doofen lighting up the server. Doofen is still alive.
Now that did not work well for EXECRATION at all. They had the upper hand going into that dive in between the tier 1 and tier 2 turret. but they just lost momentum because of Doofin.
Yep. Again, the initiation from Dupin right there, and also the damage or the way that Haji is positioning himself inside that cliff right there. Not any chance for Execration to catch him out. And again, we mentioned earlier, we talked about earlier that you need to catch out or you need to burst out this Kimi as soon as possible. But looking at these items right now, 4 physical attack daggers has already been built up by Haji, and it seems that he's going for that early Blade of Despair. It means with that Blade of Despair right there, all the towers will melt for sure.
Yeah, that's the basic. That's the basic of the basic builds here. If you're playing a Kimi, go for the Blade of Despair and then go for the Berserker's Blade. It's gonna be the turrets are just gonna be melting like butter.
Yep, butter with butter on a hot knife. Hot knife on butter, rather.
What?
Not the other way around.
Yeah.
That would be weird. What? Well, it still would work.
It would still work. It's the same way.
Given a different amount of time.
Yeah.
Of course, Turtle now. And speaking of butters to knives, Butters is going to be on the stream a little bit later on in the Philippines stream if you want to check him out. Now, of course, it's going to be Killer trying to get that aggressiveness onto May. Oh, he gets pushed
Look
back.
at the damage
Not
by
going to
Haji.
get that damage enough time.
Oh! Go! He was
One
not
attack
done yet,
and
but Dupin still trying to go in. Chaknu, 2 versus 1, ladies and gentlemen. But Dexter's ultimate, well, you're not going to commit that since that is a tank, but he's looking for more targets. Execration, looking forward, trying to catch out Dupin. There's a reverse time. They might need to use all of their ultimates right here. Dupin might go down here. The damage is enough, and a nice control on the side of Execration. They need to shut down Dupin as soon as possible. That's 3-1-0.
Space created over for the bottom lane. That's going to be the tier 2 turret going down on the side of Execration, and that's going to be EVOS-PH backing out. Haji and Killer, they're not going to be staying any longer. They don't want to give away any easy kills, but I like how Haji is always with somebody to support him in all of his fights.
Yeah, now on the other side, it's going to be Doofin, of course, who now has been shut down. So that's a very, very good point for Doofin. For Execration. That the fact that they have shut down the Gushin a little bit earlier than they have in the previous game. Actually, in the previous game, they never shut him down. But still, it's better that they actually have found a way to shut down a Gushin early.
Yep, and with that, Haji already picked up the BOD, the Blade of Despair.
Oh man, that's
so
5 minutes and 39 seconds.
5 minutes indeed, almost
a
6
fast
minutes right
BOD.
here. That's a very fast. On top of the Mage Killer, again, even the Turtle. So EVOS-PH, they have an upper hand when it comes to objectives right now. Even the Turtles, even the Lords as well. So as you can see, Execration, they're now trying to position themselves near the Turtle Cave. They might be able to catch one out, but however, EVOS, Honda, and Killer.
A 6-minute Calamity Reaper for
That's nice.
Doofin.
Yep, that's really nice as well.
And early buff is going to be secured. Doofin's doing pretty good in Haji. So again, the 2 players that you need fed on the side of EVOS are fed. Like, actually fed.
Yep, 2-0-1 for Haji, 3-1-0 for Doofin. But Zapnu's not really having a very good time right now. But as long as he can farm, as you can see looking at the minimap right now, is really trying to find that farm while the rest of Execration is just trying to protect him. Well, EVOS will try to rotate into the middle lane. Pakbet hiding inside the brush with Syre. But even Honda is also there.
The dash into the wall. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Dexter tries to go through the wall, doesn't make it quite right here. Now Chaknu's. Oh, here we go. Phantom Steed's going to be used on
Chakno
top
has
lane.
enough rage actually to go for a Minnow Fury, but he's not in a good
my
spot.
god, the depth of
Damage.
Nasa starting to really, really hurt. And the Hurricane Dance onto nobody as now Pakbet closes the distance between him and Honda as he does fall away though.
Oh, they actually did that to save Kimmy. That's pretty
smart.
nice. Pretty smart. That's not a waste of a Hurricane Dance. I mean, that's going to be the pullback onto Honda. That's going to be the tier 1 turret going down. There goes the Blade of Despair finally being picked up by Cho. Kind of late in the game. I don't know if the range is just enough for Chaknu, but there's not enough people to back him up here.
The 7 minutes for a Blade of Despair, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
That's all right. It's not a 5 minute, which is crazy.
Well, we also need to to keep in mind that that May rather picked up the high-end dry emblem. So again, that's a lot. That's 6% additional damage for a single target. If ever they're alone. So the main responsibility of May here is to catch Haji every single time. As you can see, looking at the positioning, EVOS, Honda is always with Haji. You need to protect Haji every single time. But Dupin will be the one who's going to go inside the fight and try to set up the momentum.
What I love about the Granger is that he's kind of a little bit of a foolproof hero. So no matter what you do, he's still gonna hurt a lot. Now he picks up the Blade of Heptases, and you know the thing with Zapno is even though he doesn't have the best early game start, he's gonna hurt later on no matter what he does. Even though he's 0-2, not like the heroes earlier. But there we go, reverse time. Honda has to use his ultimate though, not gonna be able to save him because Killer takes down Sire, and he's gonna be trying to back away as that's another one for Doofen. He gets another kill on the board here. Dexter going down very low, but now they're starting to chase him.
Rage mode is almost up. However, EVOS will now just disengage since they knew that the rage stats or the rage mode is almost full. But looking at the items right here, again, the Calamity Reaper, plus and then he will go for that Lightning Truncheon now for Doofen, and with that, it will be easier for him to burst out a single target, and Zapno needs to play carefully right now.
Look at the items Gushon has. He's already 2 items, almost 3 items up.
Yep.
And Kimmy already has 2 items already. On the other side, they're looking very
They're gonna
defeated.
go
But
for Doofen.
speaking of Doofen, he turns it
HP.
around.
Oh,
He could have
Zapno!
gotten it. Oh!
The Dukes are not real for Zapnu there. And this is what I like here. I mean, on paper, it looks like EVOS-PH has the advantage, but look at the map.
Yep,
They
and also the net worth.
Yeah, also the net worth. Look at how EXECRATION is securing objectives left and right. They know that they can't go for a fight. They might as well just go for objectives here. And that's exactly what they're doing. Earlier on in the game, we're seeing them go play cat and mouse where they were looking for opportunities. EXECRATION, they weren't able to find anybody, so might as well just secure objectives there.
Oh, Doofen went for a Necklace of Endurance here, again mitigating that, or at least reducing the healing factor of the Motivation Roar from Chaknu, and again more, and also the shield from Pakbet. But looking at the screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, EXECRATION almost 50% HP for the Lord, and Chaknu moving forward here, trying to gather information. Where's the rest of EVOS-PH, and they will be successful taking down the Lord, so they have that advantage again.
Oh, Chakno goes for the Minnow Fury. That's a 2-man Minnow Fury. No follow-throughs here from EXECRATION, but Pakbet is going to be there to back him up. But that's going to be a disengage from EVOS-PH. Smart call.
The Death Sonata is starting to hurt from Zapnu, and it's going to hurt a lot now. And look at how quick that tower's melting. That's absolutely unbelievable. Time's Journeys also have been really good from Saira here. He's been phenomenal as Lord now starts to make its way towards the to the top lane, which is actually phenomenal here for EXECRATION because their top lane was actually being shoved a lot.
I'm talking about shoving a lot of damage here, structures rather. EVOS-PH, they're really struggling getting that map control back on the side of well, away from EXECRATION here, but they knew that they're behind. They're looking for an opportunity to farm, but Mei really trying to stay silently, hiding himself between the Honda right here. Rather, he's seen Mei, so Haji will automatically back off for now. Saire with a reverse time, trying to catch out Honda. Honda will not commit. The Wave of the Dragon. He went inside the turret. But then again, he will be forced to use his flicker while the top lane is being pushed out by the Lord and also the rest of EXECRATION. Almost half HP now. Killer trying to dish out damage, but Pakbet, his HP is way too high, plus the shield as well. Doofen needs to do something about this.
Oh,
Fury! Oh my goodness!
Fury that's going to be picked up by EXECRATION here. And Doofen's going to be able to take down Zapnu, and Pakbet's going to go down as well by the hands of Haji. And that's going to be Chaknu on his own.
Oh,
that
no. That fell apart so quickly for EXECRATION there. They had everything going in their advantage, but Haji and Doofen, they both say, they look at each other and do that manly hand-arm shake thing.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, nope, this is our game.
We still got this.
Look at that swing.
It's hardly a swing.
Well, to be fair, it's hardly a swing, but the game itself has swung.
Mei, you don't want that to happen.
Oh,
again, the damage from the Shumpo and also the only fast right there. Haji still trying to chase Saira. Saira trying to run away. The ultimate. Will it connect? No, it will not connect. Nice sidestep from Saira right there. But EVOS-PH, I think this is their time. They're feeling it right now. This is the time that we need to apply a lot of pressure on the side of EXECRATION.
But while that's happening, the lane priority.
Oh! It's the game of skill shots. No Hurricane Dance for you this time. Doesn't need it because that's 3 people down on the side of EVOS, and now EXECRATION can start again barreling down the middle lane of EVOS-PH. It could be the end here. It could be the last chance for EVOS. It could be a 1-1. We're about to find out. Reverse time's coming in. Here comes the Fury. It's going to be good. Killer's going to get the kill on the Zapnu, but Dexter's going to go down. And here comes Doofen trying to go to the tank, though. Might decide to turn around, and oh, no.
The pause.
The most anticlimactic pause of all time.
Oh, my goodness. But that's already 3 heroes down on the side of EVOS-PH, and Killer is really trying his best to at least try to get at most or at least catch one out of position inside of Execration.
There was a small opening that EVOS-PH had there.
Yeah.
While they went for the push, they just did not realize that the lane priorities were going in favor of Execration. The top lane and bottom lane were way too shoved. If it were reversing, they prioritized pushing the side lanes altogether, Execration wouldn't be able to march straight down towards the middle lane. But still, that was a good defense coming in from EVOS-PH, able to stop the push.
It's a fantastic defense, and I think that just goes to show one thing. If Dufin and Haji can get a good engage, they should win the team fight. However, because of the amount, as you said this earlier, Chaknu and the Minoan Furies,
That's true.
they're insane. Every single time he's getting 4 people. What do you do?
It was really not. It was really surprising, man. The patience from Chaknu, waiting for that right moment to get that 4-man Minoan Fury. I think. Well, the thing is, after that 4-man Minoan Fury, they got wiped out. Or, well, there were 4 heroes who been taken out on the side of Execration. But still, the opportunity right now, or the momentum right now, is in the hands of Execration. They need to capitalize that. But EVOS-PH really struggling. There are 3 heroes down on the hands of, on the side of EVOS-PH.
Hail Mary play. What do you make of it? It's desperation time for EVOS. Do you think they'll come out of it?
It's not impossible. It's plausible.
But it's not likely.
It's not likely. I mean, but they were able to defend the
Actually,
initial push.
they're making it out. They've backed off.
Yeah, they backed off because they recognize that, hey, Leomor's up. Hey, Haji's going to come back up. Might as well recuperate ourselves.
Yeah, and Granger's not even in the picture.
Yep. And but at least they're able to remove the blue buff away from EVOS-PH here. At least a little bit of damage control inside of Execration. But again, looking at the current net worth here, it's almost still really close, almost 3K net worth lead. But at least that's at least 1 core item in the hands of Execration here.
To me, that's nothing because it's 13 minutes a game, and the later it becomes, the less the money starts to matter. And I think at this point, they're both, both of these teams are really fed. They pretty much have most of their items already. And so it's going to be about chess now, or checkers, or chess.
Yeah, it's all about who makes the wrong move first here.
Yep, I agree.
And I feel like we might see a huge clash coming in here, especially leaning towards the Lord area. This is going to be an objective that EVOS-PH needs to secure.
Yep, they really need to contest this one out. But looking at the current positioning of Execration, even Chaknu moving forward here, trying to get information about the Granger.
Oh, here we go. Divine Judgment. Pakbet is going to be going down. That's going to be another pick-off from EVOS-PH. Should allow them to take the Lord.
That's going to be the signal for EVOS-PH to go ahead and go for the Lord right now. But Chaknu does have enough rage. He's going to...
a little bit more.
Just a little bit more. He's going to have the Minoan Fury. Good call by EVOS-PH to just back off here and just focus on the other lanes and try to regroup all together.
Chaknu's looking for it. He's looking for the Minoan Fury.
Dufin.
Here's a couple of seconds. That's it. That's the one. That's the Minoan. And they actually get Haji as well. Turn it around. It's going to be a 1-for-1.
Oh my goodness.
So 1-for-1 trade. Discipline from both of these teams are just way too high.
That's true. And the Lord is just waiting
Look
right
at the
there.
tanks. The
Oh,
tanks
man,
are
we have the
diving each
dragon.
other's back lines. Dexter's getting caught off,
Oh,
and the
the damage
re-engage
from-
is good from Haji. Now it's going to be May, going to be dropped down. Time 30 going to be committed for this.
That's going to be... Kimmy is a problem here.
Yep.
Kimmy slowly starting to become a problem here. Right now, they need to start to back off because their top lane is being contested right now by minions.
Haji really needs to get that right angle, but Execration, they see an opening, so they saw that the top lane's pushing in. It will give them at least a little bit of time to get a little bit of damage for that Lord right now, but the Lord has been taken out slowly, but killing spree for Killer, taking down the Diggy, so they don't have any difference at all.
Oh, the Minoan
Fury.
again.
And
Oh,
also
the
damage
steal!
is not
The
there.
steal!
The steal again from Killer. Killer needs to run away, but the damage from Honda is there, pushing back Chaknu. The damage has been done. Dufin again with a nice shadow-based slaughter. Pakbet trying to take down Dufin with a nice, sword spike rather. EVOS Honda trying to help out Dufin, but the damage is not enough though. The
Oh,
damage
no.
from Zapnu. But Pakbet will be the ones going to take that kill. 3-4-2 exchange, but Execration, they're feeling it right now. They're trying to take down, and they also disable Pakbet, but it's way too tanky.
What a winter truncheon, and it's now the tanks, the supports left alive. Hurricane Dance, Honda, what are you going to do? Trying to buy some time, but that's a lot of time to buy. Can you afford it? Yeah,
Oh,
Dexter
going
can,
down.
and it should be the end here. EVOS-PH take a loss. It's going to be Execration to take the game, the second on the board.
Flip things around.